Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. Two voices shouted into the sky above the valley of the end. The fight between Sasuke and Naruto had come to its climax. The two attacks almost clashed, before Naruto pulled back at the last possible moment. His reward was a hole in the chest, courtesy of the last Uchiha, his formerly best friend and brother. Told you, dope. You'll never beat me. Now if you excuse me from not watching you die, I've wasted enough time with the likes of you, dead last. Smirking one last time at the blood-covered form of his opponent, Sasuke turned and left to serve his new master the snake Sannin Orochimaru. Sasuke. Naruto muttered before he was enveloped by darkness. Unknown to both combatants, they were watched the entire time. The Kyuubi had taken an interest in its vessel's fight and had provided him with its chakra. But now it had a problem. The injuries Naruto had taken were very severe, but nothing it could not heal. The villagers had done a lot worse on him, when he was young and defenseless. But now, Naruto was experiencing an emotional trauma, caused by the betrayal of his best friend. Because of that, Kyuubi was unable to heal the hole in his chest properly and he would have surely died, if the demon had not found a solution to the problem. Kyuubi did not like the solution very much, but it was better than dying. So the demon set to work immediately in order to save the life of the orange-clad boy. At least this will make things a lot more interesting around here. I have missed the smell of the fresh air for so long. Meanwhile Kakashi had arrived on the scene. One glance at Naruto's almost lifeless form told him all he needed to know. So he did the most logical thing he could do, which would be picking up his student and running at high speed back towards Konoha. All the way the copycat nin was beating himself up internally for his past failures. He knew he had favored Sasuke over Naruto and Sakura, but he kept telling himself he did so for the sake of his dead teammate Obito. But now he was finally coming to terms with reality. The sole reason why he had ignored Naruto was because he blamed him for the death of his sensei, the Yondaime Hokage. A stupid selfish reason, which put the genius ninja on the same level as most of the villagers. Kakashi came to the conclusion that if Naruto survived, he would do anything in his power to help him in order to make up for his lack of attention until now. While he was dwelling on these things he had come near the gates of Konoha. Since time was of essence, he ignored the guard and rushed to the hospital, blasting everyone in his path away. At last he arrived at the hospital. Tsunade, the Godime Hokage, seemed to have anticipated what had happened to Naruto and had already prepared an emergency surgery for him. She rushed immediately towards Kakashi when she caught sight of him. She took Naruto out of his arms and placed him on the provided stretcher. But before she could ask Kakashi what the brat's condition was or call for her assistance, Naruto suddenly started to glow in an eerie red light. Before the eyes of the surprised and confused Tsunade and Kakashi, Naruto's wounds started to heal. But what happened next scared both spectators out of their minds. From Naruto's stomach a red mass of chakra erupted, taking the form of a fox. The mass circled around him and he started to change. His once human ears moved upwards and took the shape of fox ears. His nails grew longer, as did his already pronounced canines. Finally he grew a long fox tail which was the same color as his now shoulder-length golden hair. But the most disturbing thing, at least to Tsunade and Kakashi, happened after the changes on Naruto. The red fox-shaped mass stopped circling him and instead started to settle on his stomach. The seal, which once held the Kyuubi, disappeared and instead of the red mass there suddenly sat a cute little fox with 9 tails. It looked around and noticed the two terrified ninjas in the room. There was a long silence until the fox did something very unexpected. Yo! The only reaction it got was a loud thump as both the Godime and Kakashi hit the floor, unconscious. This is going to be a long day, the fox sighed. The sight that greeted Naruto when he awoke moments later was somewhat disturbing. A cute little fox with 9 tails was frantically trying to revive both Tsunade and Kakashi. What made it even more disturbing was the fact that the fox was speaking while doing so. Wake up, you two insolent humans. We've got some things to discuss. It's not very polite to become unconscious when somebody is trying to start up a conversation with you, damn it. The creature then noticed the stirring Naruto and turned to address him. Oh, hi Kit. Nice to see you're okay. How do you like your new features? It was the only option other to death, so please don't be too upset. Anyo, do I know you? And what new features are you talking about? And why is it so loud and smelly in here? And why does my tail feel so clammed up? Wait a moment, my tail. What did that Baka Kitsune do this time? That, Baka Kitsune, saved your worthless live Kit, so stuff it. I didn't like the prospect of dying, so deal with it. Ah, it seems your Hokage and your sensei are starting to come to their senses, about time. Indeed, the two ninjas were slowly starting to wake up. God, I should stop drinking so much sake, it's affecting my brain. I was dreaming Kyuubi escaped from the seal, turned Naruto into something fox-like and then talked, muttered Tsunade. Interesting Tsunade-sama. I had the exact same dream, was the comment from Kakashi. Sorry to bring it to you, but that wasn't a dream. I'm really not sealed anymore into Naruto. I gave up most of my power and left it within him and turned him into a fox Hanyu by doing that. It was the only way to save him. And as you can hear, I can really talk, I'm not dumb, you know. Ah. Kyuubi escaped. We're doomed, came the simultaneous cry from all three ninja. Naruto, you idiot. How could you let it escape? Now it will finish what it started 14 years ago. Itai. Why must you always hit me, Tsunade Bachan? Was the only reply she got after yelling at him and bonking him on the head. Quiet. I am not going to harm your beloved village. Now shut up and listen. Kyuubi must have somehow acquired Iruka's giant head jutsu and the shinobi started to pay rapt attention. Much better. Now let's get down to business. First off, as I said, in order to save Naruto from certain death I had to give up my power to turn him into a fox Hanyu. In exchange he survived and I finally got free. But don't worry, I only am about as powerful as an average jonin at the moment. Normally all of this would not have been necessary, because as you know I am able to heal every damage to Naruto short from somebody chopping his head off. When Sasuke tried to kill Naruto though, that caused a trauma. Not very surprising, after all he thought he loved Sasuke like a brother. Anyway, any questions? Actually yeah, why does your voice sound so feminine all of the sudden? I thought you're a guy. Everyone's sweat dropped at the question from the blonde boy and Kyuubi had the grace to blush. Well you see Kit, in the demon world females are seen as weak. So I had to keep up the image I'm a guy. In reality I'm a vixen. How do you think I could raise half of Konoha to the ground before your Yondaime sealed me? Fear the wrath of a woman. Wrath of a woman. Wrath for what? This village didn't do anything to you. You just attacked it without a reason and ruined my life by being sealed into me. Reason. Of course I had a reason. You ing bastards attacked my den and killed my mate and kits. I had a damn good reason to attack your village. That's stupid. Yondaime sensei would have never given the order to attack you. He was a person who loved peace and hated war. Why should he do something that stupid? To the surprise of everyone in the room, Kyuubi lowered her head in shame. You're right. I now know it was that bastard snake who ordered the attack. I found out when I recognized his scent back in the forest of death. But can you blame a mother to seek revenge for the death of her family? You would do the same thing. So all this time, this was nothing but a big understanding. Came the curious question of Tsunade. Yeah, pretty much. And Naruto, I'm sorry for ruining your life. Naruto gave Kyuubi his patented foxy smile and just waved her off. Nah, it's okay. You saved me back there after all. And what's done is done, so no hard feelings, okay. Again Kyuubi shocked everyone present by jumping into the Hanyu's arms and cuddling against his chest. Thank you so much, Kit. You don't know how much that means to me. Sorry to interrupt your touching moment. But where do we go from here? How will I explain Naruto's changes to the council and the rest of Konoha? Tsunade's question pretty much sobered both Naruto and Kyuubi. Those villagers. After all they've done to my Kit, I don't care what they think. That may be true, but what about my friends? Will they abandon me, now that I really am what the villagers call me, a demon? Well, at least a half-demon, came the saddened whisper from Naruto. Tsunade couldn't see her self-proclaimed brother suffer any longer. She went over to his stretcher that he had not left during the whole conversation and embraced him. We will work out something, Naruto. Don't worry, nobody will think differently of you, okay? Yeah, Kit, don't worry. By the way, let me explain how your new body works. By changing you into a Hanyu, your stamina has increased to even more insane levels. Also, your chakra reserve is now near limitless, and being a half-demon give you the control over my chakra as well. So your chakra control should have increased dramatically because of the change. But don't get, you have to be trained in your new abilities. Speaking of training, I have an offer for you. For 3 little things from you, I will grant you the Fox Summon contract. Also, I will fight by your side, like those dogs for the Inuzuka, only with about 10,000 years worth of experience under my belt. Furthermore, I will help you to gain control of your new powers and will help you in any way I can. How does that sound? Agreed. Came the instant reply from our favorite knucklehead. Baka. At least wait until she tells you about what she wants from you. Don't worry, Tsunade Bachan, there's nothing she can ask from me that I wouldn't give for what she's offering. It can't be worse than everything what happened up until now, can it? Tsunade sighed. She knew he was right. Okay, Kyuubi, what do you want from Naruto? Nothing much. Number 1. I want him to kill Orochimaru, so I can avenge my mate and Kits. Since he has to kill him anyway at some point, that shouldn't be a problem. Number 2. I want at least 1 scratching session a day. Insert giant sweat drop. What? I'm a fox and I like being scratched behind my ears, so sue me. Anyway. Number 3. I want you to drop your stupid mask. Naruto gulped at the last condition. Kakashi and Tsunade blinked and Kakashi decided to ask. What is she talking about, Naruto? The boy in question had started sweating until he finally sighed. His face turned into a serious expression, and when he looked into the eyes of the other 2 shinobi, both had to gasp. His blue eyes, which up until now had held unbounded happiness and cheerfulness, suddenly had unlimited sadness and pain in them. Pain caused by the hate of 14 years of abuse. Naruto drew a deep breath and started to speak. I have been keeping something from both of you. The Naruto you know isn't the real Naruto. I have been keeping something from both of you. The Naruto you know isn't the real Naruto. What are you talking about, Naruto? I've known you for years. You are my student. Hi, Kakashi-sensei. But the Naruto you have known was nothing but a mask. After seeing the stunned faces of his listeners, he quickly added. Okay, that's a bit exaggerated. The Naruto you know is a part of the real Naruto, so don't worry, I won't change too much. But you should also know that I am not as dumb as I have let you on. I'm not a genius like Shikamaru, mind you, but I could have easily aced the exams at the academy. Well, that is, if they weren't rigged with a genjutsu. But that's not important now. My point is, I have hidden my intelligence, my sadness, my loneliness and my sorrow from you. I pretended to be a clueless idiot all the time. By this point Tsunade had started to break down in tears. Why, Naruto? Don't you trust us? This is not about trust, Tsunade. You see, after all of these years of hiding behind a mask, it came so naturally that I didn't think about it. And for the reason why I did it in the first place, I wanted to let the villagers think I'm a harmless idiot. That way, they only beat me to the brink of death once a week, instead of on a daily basis. Quote. What are you talking about, Naruto? I was one of the Anbu assigned to watch over you and I don't recall that ever happening. Of course you don't, Kakashi-sensei, sneered Naruto. You were always reading your beloved Ika Ika Paradise books instead of really paying attention. Don't look so surprised, I know exactly that you were doing it on purpose. After all, it was my fault that your beloved sensei died. So don't pretend you didn't know what was going on. My life was hell. Can you imagine how I felt when you of all people became my sensei after I had passed the genin exam? Kakashi hung his head in shame. He had always accepted his failures as a teacher, but now it dawned on him that he had failed on a much greater scale. Before he was able to respond to everything Naruto had said, he was slammed into the wall, courtesy of a very pissed Hokage. Kakashi, she growled, is he telling the truth? Were you really taking out the anger you had from the loss of the Yondaime on a poor helpless child, just like the rest of the village did? Did you? Answer me. Hi, I did, Hokage-sama. There is nothing I can say that would excuse my actions. I will take any punishment you will give me, I have earned it. For what it is worth, Naruto, I want to apologize for my actions, not just for my ignorance as one of your guardians, but also for my ignorance as your teacher. Tears were rolling down the masked face of the copycat and he dropped to his knees. I ignored you and Sakura in favor of Sasuke because I thought I owed it to my dear deceased friend Obito. I thought he would have wanted me to teach the last Uchiha everything I can. But now I am sure, he would be disappointed with me. He would have wanted me to teach you all equally. I am so sorry. I beg your forgiveness. Naruto stared at his crying teacher with a serious face for a long time. In the end, his features softened and his eyes were once again filled with sadness. I forgive you, sensei. We are all humans, or at least half human in my case, we are not perfect. We make mistakes, but we can also try to make up for them. If you are willing to do so, I will forgive you, but I will not forget. Kakashi gave him his eye smile. That is all I can hope for, Naruto. I will try to be the sensei you deserve, no matter what it takes. Naruto then turned to Tsunade and gave her a sad smile. Bachan, please don't be angry at Kakashi or the villagers. As I said, they are only humans. And what humans don't understand, such as the complexity of sealing a biju, they fear. And what they fear, they hate. Prejudice has always been part of humanity and it always will be. The only thing people like me can hope for, is the acceptance from those people, who truly matter to us. So you see why I don't want anybody to know how my life has been before the academy, or how the Kyuubi is sealed inside me. I want to keep my friends as long as I can. Tsunade's answer shocked him, however, for she shook her head and declared. No, Naruto. If they really are your friends, they will accept you, no matter who or what is sealed into you. And it will not matter to them if you have become a Hanyu, for that was not your choice. And let me tell you, I have had enough. I will show this village exactly whom they have been treating this way since the day of his birth. And they will regret it, those bastards. What are you talking about, Bachan? I am just a lowly orphan. I do not have any known parents. I am the village pariah. So why should they care? I am just a so-called monster. Before he could continue, Tsunade had slapped him. You are not a lowly orphan. This should have been told you when you become Jonin or 18 years of age, but I have had enough of those damn SS class secrets. They have harmed you more than they have helped you. Even Sarutobi-sensei realized that. I have a letter, which he left you for the day your heritage would be revealed. Today is this day. From today on the truth about Naruto Uzumaki shall be known. For he is not Uzumaki but Namikaze. Naruto, you are the son of Minato Namikaze, Yondaime of Konohagakure no Sato, and your mother was nobody but Kushina Uzumaki of the land of Whirlpool. Do you understand, Naruto? This village has treated the son of its greatest hero like trash. I want to never hear you again speaking of yourself as a lowly orphan, am I clear? Hi Tsunade-sama, sobbed Naruto. His face was resting in his hands and he was crying. But the tears running down his face were tears of joy, not of pain. Most people would have hated their parents for what they had done. But Naruto knew he would have done the same in his father's place. So instead he was grateful to finally know that he had parents. Parents that had cared for him and his village and who had hoped that he would be seen as a hero for saving the village from certain destruction. Although Naruto seemed to be happy with the news, somebody in the room was clearly giving of a great deal of killing intent directed at the Hokage. It was Kakashi, who seemed furious at his news. Why? Why was I told that Sensei's son had died in the Kyuubi attack? I would have cared for him. Why did Sandaime-sama do such a thing? Tsunade gave a sad sigh. Because once again he made the mistake to trust the hearts of the villagers. He thought revealing Naruto's parentage would make him a target for Iwagakure, and he believed that being container of the Kyuubi should give Naruto enough safety and care from the village. The path to destruction is full of good intentions. I understand Oji-san, but I also pity him. For he thought that it was of greater importance for me to be safe than be happy. If I would have to choose, I would have chosen happiness over safety any day. As I said, Naruto, Sarutobi-sensei realized that in the end. But he couldn't change what he had done. You will read so for yourself later, when I give you the letters he along with your mother and father left you. But more of that later. What is important now, are for one the fact that you must come with me before the council, for they must be informed of your parentage no matter how you feel about that. Do you understand? Hi Tsunade-bachan. And we should discuss what we are going to tell your friends about Kyuubi and your new status as a Hanyu. Your heritage will be known to them anyway by end of the day. Tell them about Kyuubi. Are you mad? They would hate me and treat me like the villagers. Please Bachan, don't tell them. I don't want to lose them. Before anyone could respond though, the door burst open and there stood Kiba Inuzuka, seemingly healed from his injuries, together with the rest of the Konoha 11 with their senseis. Even Neji and Choji were there, but they were sitting in wheelchairs. Sakura was nowhere to be seen. Are you crazy, Naruto-sama? I would never abandon a pack member. Especially not one who has saved our village time and time again. It was you who kept Kyuubi at bay from day one. No offense to you Kyuubi, by the way. It was you Naruto-sama, who saved our village from Gaara's rampage, and it was because of your persuasion that Tsunade-sama came back to Konoha to become the Godime. So don't think we would abandon you. Not after everything you did for us, am I clear? The present Genin and Jonin nodded their agreement. The only response Naruto was able to give was to break out in tears of joy once more. His greatest fear had vanished, his friends had accepted him. But where was Sakura? He would worry about that later. Finally he was able to pull himself together and he looked up. By now his unofficial audience had entered his room. What shocked him was the fact that everybody was bowing to him. Well, at least those that were physical able to do so. Neji just gave him a nod. Suddenly the Hanyu noticed something from Kiba's little speech that unnerved him to no end. Naruto-sama. Are you nuts, Kiba? I'm still plain ol' Naruto. Okay, now I'm the son of the Yondaime and I'm a Hanyu, but so what? So what? You deserve respect for the achievements made by you. So I will from now on always address you properly. You have earned it. In fact, let me show you how serious I am. A loud crunch could be heard and a shocked Naruto watched as Kiba pulled one of his fangs, attached it to some ninja wire and handed it over. He then kneeled down in front of him and began to swear an oath. I hereby swear that I, Inuzuka Kiba, second heir to the Inuzuka clan, am in your service until the day I die. I will protect from anyone who should try to harm you or someone you consider precious. I will fight by your side and die by your side if the situation requires it. Make Kami hear my words. No sound was heard until Kyuubi broke the silence. Kit, you should accept the Fang. The Inuzuka clan has some traits derived from the animals they work with. One of these traits is their pride and their loyalty. It would be a huge insult to refuse Kiba's oath and offer. This shook Naruto from his frozen state and he hesitantly took the offered fang and hung it around his neck, so that it was hanging right beside the necklace which he had won from Tsunade. Thank you Kiba. This means a lot to me, I won't let you down. This is a promise of a lifetime. His foxy grin and sudden cheerfulness brightened the somber mood instantly. But this cheerfulness was for once not fake, but real. The difference was breathtaking. If Naruto's fake cheerfulness had made people around him happy, his true emotions did tenfold. After promising everyone to meet up later for some ramen, Tsunade grabbed Naruto and dragged him to the Hokage Tower to meet the council. The council of Konoha consisted of a shinobi half and a civilian half. The shinobi half was represented by the major clans of Konoha which were the Aburame, Akamichi, Hyuga, Inuzuka, Nara, Sarutobi, Yamanaka and the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha seat was vacant at the moment though, since there were no loyal Uchiha left in Konoha. The civilian half was represented by some rich families, mainly merchants, such as the Haruno family and by the elders Homura, Kaharu and Danzo. When everybody arrived, Tsunade told Naruto to stand up and then made an announcement, which shocked the council to its core. I hereby declare the law made by the Sandaime, which forbid the mentioning of the sealing of the Kyuubi, invalid. I further am revealing the SS class secret that Naruto Uzumaki is in reality Naruto Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Furthermore he now possesses a bloodline that makes him a Hanyu. The Kyuubi is gone for good. In its place is only a small demon fox, which is harmless and loyal to Naruto. Anybody who intends to harm Naruto or his fox will be sentenced to death. Any questions? The only answer she received were cries of outrage from most of the civilian half as well as from Hiashi. But one shout was louder than the rest of them. This one came from Sume, head of the Inuzuka clan and mother of Kiba and Hana Inuzuka. It is about time. I have been waiting for this moment for years. It is about time. I have been waiting for this moment for years. All heads turned to the Inuzuka matriarch with looks of, what the? Sume noticed the stares and explicated. As Hokage-sama should know, I have tried for years, with the support of the rest of the ninja clans, expect the Hyuga and the Uchiha, to adopt Naruto and to support him in any way. As you are aware, I have always seen him for what he is, the container for the Kyuubi and the hero of this village. And no, I was not aware of his heritage, although it is quite obvious when you look at him. I wasn't able to tell by his scent, because the smell of fox is too strong and still is. Anyway, I am very happy to finally experience the day, where he gets the support that he deserves. It took long enough. Naruto, until now quietly standing in the middle of the council chambers, gawked at Sume after her outburst. He swallowed any comments on his tongue and asked in the most respectful tone he could muster. But Sume-sama, why would you do that for me? Nobody has done anything for me in all this time. I wasn't aware of what you were doing. Sarutobi Jiji would have told me. No, Naruto-san, he wouldn't have. He was the one who blocked any adoption attempts from me. I now understand why he did it, since he thought we were most likely trying to get a hold of the son of the Yondaime. And cut the sama crap. You are the one that deserves respect, not me. For the reason of why me clan should try to help you, and Inuzuka never abandons someone from his pack. But you were clearly abandoned by this village, so we tried to remedy this situation. I am sorry that we were unable to succeed. Before any more dialogue between the two could be uttered, a loud shriek from Azami Haruno rang through the room. What? Or you drunk Hokage-sama. The demon must have corrupted you, if you are sputtering such nonsense. We will never accept this thing if we can help it. And in no way is he the son of our beloved Yondaime. He has most likely taken a similar appearance to him in order to confuse us. Don't believe him, he is only waiting for the perfect opportunity to kill us all. Muttering indicated that the civilian council agreed with her view of things. Only Danzo kept a blank face, his eyes fixated on the Hanyu. He was most likely plotting in one way or another to get his hands on him for his NA program. Slowly the council became aware of a very large killing intent directed in their direction, coming from their Hokage. Before she could unleash her fury though, Hiashi Hyuga rose, indicating his wish to speak. Tsunade nodded at him and he began. He had always been a stickler for etiquette. Fellow council members, let us not be hasty in making any decisions. First of all we should find out how it came to this unique situation and how this boy was able to get rid of the Kyuubi. Don't you agree with me Hokage-sama? Your words are wise Hiashi, as always. The transformation of Naruto was caused by the fight with the traitor Sasuke Uchiha. During the mission for the retrieval of Sasuke, he and Naruto fought each other at the Valley of the End. From what Kakashi told me, it seems that Sasuke won, since he found Naruto with a hole in his chest, with Sasuke nowhere in sight. Because of this, the Kyuubi had to use up all of his chakra, breaking the seal in the process, to save Naruto. But he didn't take the genius of the Yondaime in account, so he was once again tricked. Yondaime designed the seal in way that if it would ever break both Naruto and the Kyuubi would either die, or, if the circumstances allowed it, Kyuubi would be absorbed by Naruto and he would gain most of his powers. As you can see, the circumstances indeed allowed it and Kyuubi is now gone for good. The rest I already told you. Tsunade was sweating bullets and praying that the council bought the story. If not she and Naruto even more so, would be in deep shit. Hiashi gave her one last calm glance, then nodded, accepting the story, and sat back down. Next to raise his voice was Danzo, one of the few people on the council who was absolutely unpredictable in his decisions and moves. If the boy now possesses so much power, he must be properly trained and turned into a weapon for our village. Anything else would be foolish. No. As your Hokage I am telling you that such a thing will never happen. I will not hand him over to you for you to make him into a mindless weapon more loyal to you than the village. Then the demon must die. He is a danger to our village. Came the cry from Azami once more. Naruto, who had succeeded in keeping his calm demeanor throughout the exchanges, despite the fact that they were talking about killing him or turning him into a mindless weapon. But his nervousness and anger were taking their toll on him and he had started to fumble with Tsunade's necklace in order to keep himself occupied. By doing so, he had also pulled out the chain given him by Kiba earlier. Sume noticed this and suddenly her face, which had turned into an angry grimace because of Hiashi, Danzo and Azami, light up and she sported a mischievous grin. In turn Tsunade noticed the grin and asked her why she was grinning. Naruto-san, is that fang that you are carrying by any chance from my son Kiba? Yes Suma-san. He gave it to me earlier in the hospital. Did he also by chance swear some kind of oath to you? Now that you mention it. Yeah, he said something along the lines of swearing loyalty to me until his death, no matter what. Why are you asking? If possible the grin on Sume's face got even wider with that answer. Well if that is so, I have found a way of ending this pointless argument on what to do with you Naruto. Since my son swore his loyalty to you that automatically makes you an honorary member of the Inuzuka clan, since Kiba is the second in line for being the next clan leader. Because of your new status I am invoking the clan protection law as established by the Shadaime during the founding of this village. While the civilians cried in outrage and Tsunade smiled Naruto just looked confused. What are you talking about? What does that law entail and how would that end this discussion? Before the civilians could continue protesting, Tsunade silenced them with a glare and then explained. The law made by my grandfather states that each clan is allowed to keep its members from punishment by the council. Only they or the Hokage are then allowed to give out a punishment to the accused clan member, but both of those parties must agree on it. If an agreement cannot be reached, the jurisdiction falls back to the council. But I don't think this will be an issue in this case, don't you think so, Sum? Most certainly not, Hokage-sama. Excellent. In that case, this meeting is adjourned, fellow council members. There will be no further discussions on this topic or anything related to it. You are dismissed. Muttering curses and taking angry glances at the smirking Hokage and a still slightly confused Naruto, the council left the chamber. Tsunade asked Sum to stay behind, and when they were alone with Naruto, she beckoned both into her office. The Hokage's office had changed its decorum drastically since the reign of the Sandaime. The once dusty and overfilled room had been cleared of most of its furniture. Tsunade had kept the old wooden desk, but she had replaced the wooden chairs with a sofa. The sofa had the same color as the newly painted walls, which now shone in a green similar to the one used on Tsunade's jacket. Additional to the desk, she had also kept the pictures of her predecessors and had added 4 pictures to them. One was of Dan and Nawaki, the second one showed her together with Naruto, Shizuna and Jiraiya at a hot spring. The third was only her and Naruto. But it was the last one, which caught the most attention of any visitor. There stood a proud-looking Naruto clad in the robes of a Hokage. He was standing on top of the Hokage monument, incidentally on top of the Yondaime's face. His foxy smile and his bright blue eyes held an eerie resemblance to the very same Hokage on which's monument he was standing on. After ushering both of her guests inside of the office and ordering them to take a seat, Tsunade turned and looked out of the window. She gazed upon Konoha and the beautiful sunset, which made the whole village glow in different shades of red, yellow and orange. It had been a long day for her and she was eager to finally get it over with. With a smile she turned back to her guests. Well, I am glad that is over with. Kami, I hate the civilian council. Always trying to dig their noses into things where they normally don't have anything to say about. So let's get down to business. I would like to know what your plans are, Sum, especially those containing Naruto. I don't care what she offers my kit, but she should keep in mind that I'm here as well. Tsunade and Sum's eyes turned to the orange scarf on Naruto's neck. Everyone had ignored it during the meeting of the council, thinking of it as one of Naruto's quirks with his beloved orange. But there was more to it than they had originally, though. The so-called scarf was no other than the Kyuubi, who had decided that staying unnoticed would be the most benefit action for her and Naruto. But now that the council was gone, she could again speak freely. Or that would have been the case if Sum hadn't fallen into shock and was trying to keep the fear out of her face. But I thou ght the Kyuubi was dead. Tsunade sighed and shot the fox a look that clearly said, "You will pay for this later." Sum calmed down. Everything is okay, but I didn't tell the council the exact truth about what happened after the battle between Naruto and Sasuke. They would have gone ballistic if I had told them. In reality it is like this. After a lengthy explanation, with Sum interrupting Tsunade several times to ask questions and a second lengthy explanation, this time from Kyuubi, Sum took a deep breath while nursing her forehead. She hated it when so much shocking information was dropped on her at once. So let me get this right. Kyuubi saved Naruto's life by giving up most of her power, thereby turning him into a Hanyu. She will furthermore be his battle partner and give him the Fox summoning contract. And to top it all, Kyuubi is female and actually not evil. Yup, Sum-san. Came the cheeky reply from Naruto. Oh well. If both of you trust her, I will do so too. Where would it lead to, if I couldn't trust my own Hokage? Anyway, Back to your question about what my plans with Naruto are. Now that I know about the situation more clearly, here's what I have in mind. Since Kiba pledged loyalty to Naruto, making him an honorary member of the Inuzuka clan, I would like to offer Naruto full membership and adopt him. I tried to that for years after all. Also, I want him to offer him a place at our compound, since I know how the place is where he is living in at the moment. If you can call that dump a place to live, that is. This offer stands no matter whether he does become a clan member or not. There is one more thing, but I will come to that only if he becomes a member of my clan. Naruto had dazed eyes after hearing an offer of being adopted. The chance to have a family. A concept he was not familiar with. Before he could answer though, Tsunade had pulled out several scrolls from a drawer in her desk. She handed them over to him and gave him a look that stated he should listen. Whatever came next was very important. Naruto, these are the letters and belongings left to you by the Sandaime and your parents. Before you accept Tsume's offer, I suggest you read them. Shaking, Naruto nodded and opened the latter from the Sandaime. Dear Naruto. If you are reading this, then it means I have passed on. Firstly, I want to apologize. This old man has made so many wrong decisions concerning you, and I am so sorry for it. I should have never kept your heritage a secret, nor should I have left you alone when you needed nothing more than a family. If Tsume's offer on adoption still stands after my death, I advise you strongly to take it. There is no clan more loyal to their family members than the Inuzuka. And loyalty along with love and compassion is what you need most. I have also left two things to you in hopes to make up at least a bit for my failures in life. The first thing is the ape summoning contract. I know that you already have the contract for frogs from Jiraiya, but you can sign more than one, so it shouldn't be an issue. I only ask of you to let Konohamaru sign it when he makes Chunin. The second thing I left you is a special ring. This ring is my way of showing you that I believe in your dream of becoming Hokage. You see, the ring originally belonged to the first Hokage and has from there passed through the hands of all Hokages, except whoever takes my place. I want you to have it and prove the entire world what you are capable of. Make me proud, Naruto. Become the best Hokage ever seen in Konoha. Sincerely. Sarutobi, Oji-san. Sandaime Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato. Tsunade, who together with Tsume had been reading over Naruto's shoulder, muttered something along the lines, so that's why he left a note to not touch the ring, and went over to the picture of the Sandaime hanging on the wall. She pushed aside, revealing a safe, and after going through the gruesome process of opening it, retrieved a small box. She handed the box to Naruto, who took it and opened it. The ring lying inside was breathtaking. It was made out of pure gold and designed like a normal band. But it was the gems that were placed on it that made it so special. Rubies, diamonds and amber stones were arranged so that it appeared as if a flickering flame was dancing on the ring. The ring itself held a kanji inscription reading, "The Will of Fire." Naruto stared slack-jawed at the ring and stuttered. I can't accept this. This is too much. I didn't do anything to deserve something like this. Oh yes, you did, Naruto. You did more for this village than a ring could ever compensate for. And Sarutobi-sensei didn't also give this as a mere compensation, he left it for you to carry on the legacy of fire. So wear it proudly, together with my necklace. In fact, since the Raijin was destroyed by your team, you now possess all artifacts still in existence from the time of the founding of Konoha. But what better way to symbolize your claim on becoming the past Hokage than with possessing those precious items? So shut up and take it. Naruto slowly put on the ring, and when he did, it suddenly light up, as if the flame came to life. It seems the ring approves of you as its bearer, so wear it proudly and carry on the will of fire, Naruto. Naruto nodded and proceeded to open the next scroll, the letter from his parents. I will sign the contract at a later time. And please don't try to read this letter, too, it is personal. Tsunade pouted at this, but both she and Tsume gave Naruto enough space to read the contents of the second letter privately. Dear Naruto. If you are reading this, you are either 18 years of age or a jonin. Whatever is the case, congratulations on your achievements. The persons writing this later are Kushina Uzumaki, your mother and me, Minato Namikaze, Yondaime of Konohagakure no Sato. First of all, we love you with all of our hearts. Second, I apologize for sealing the Kyuubi into you, but I didn't have a choice. When I cannot sacrifice my own child for the village, could I ask someone else to carry this burden? I sincerely hope that the village has treated you as a hero, as it was my last wish. If they did not and instead treated you like a demon, then please ask the Hokage to open the scroll, special mission by the Yondaime, and read it in public announcement. I am sadly aware that this option will be the most likely case since the villagers are only humans. Anyway, they will be in for a bad surprise. I hope you enjoy it. I am sad to say that your mother has died during childbirth, so I only can write in her name, but she can't do it personally. Do not blame yourself for her death. It was her choice to give birth to you earlier by forcing it. She knew what the price for that action would be, but she also knew that everyone would die if I wasn't able to seal the Kyuubi. Together with this scroll we have left you a few things. From me you get the instructions for my prized jutsu the Hiraishin and the Rasengan. Furthermore I have included a cloak, designed by both me and your mother for after your birth. May it serve you well. From your mother you get the sword of the Uzumaki clan. It is the only relic she could save when the Whirlpool country was destroyed, so keep it safe. Whatever you are doing, I am sure we would be proud of you. Please carry on our legacy. I should also add that since your real name is Namikaze you don't have a clan, since a clan can only come by the father's side. But just make a name for yourself Naruto, I am sure you can do that. I love you my son, as does your mother. Kushina Uzumaki Shinobi of Whirlpool Country. Minato Namikaze Yondaime Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato. P.S. Here is some blackmail against whoever is Hokage. The secret to the paperwork or Kage Bunshin. Since you gain the memories of a dispelled clone, they are perfect for the job. With the Kyuubi's chakra you can also use them perfectly for training since you can make hundreds of them. Enjoy. After shedding a small amount of tears during the course of the letter, Naruto was smirking because of the postscriptum. He looked over to Tsunade and gave her a foxy grin and exclaimed. Bachan, he gave me wonderful blackmail against you. He told me about the secret of paperwork. What? Tell me Naruto. I will do anything for that information. To the horror of Tsume, Tsunade had gotten on her knees in front of Naruto, begging him for what she wanted. Even Naruto was scared shitless by the powerful woman begging at him of all persons. But in the end his prankster side won out and he gave her his conditions. First of all I want you to read out the special mission by the Yondaime, as my father wished in his letter in front of all of Konoha. You'll see the reason why when you read it. Secondly I would like to find somebody who can teach me kenjutsu since my mother left me the sword of the Uzumaki clan and I would like to use it. Where is it by the way? Furthermore I would like to ask a favor of you. You don't have to agree to it if you don't want to but I would appreciate it a lot. I want you to train me in medical jutsu and in politics. As the future Hokage I have to be skilled in those fields. Since I know I'm a Hanyu, my chakra control should have reached the level it normally would have since Kyuubi's chakra does not disrupt it anymore. What do you say? Tsunade gave Naruto a big hug and responded under teary eyes. You could have used that info for the most outrageous demands, but instead you once again put the safety of this village before anything else. Because the better you get at what you're doing, the better you can protect it. I will do everything you asked for. I have the sword at my house, I will have it delivered to wherever you will be staying by the end of this day. As for your trainer, I would guess Yugao Azuki. Since you saved the village from the attack of the sand, who killed her lover Hayate, she will most likely be overjoyed to teach you. Now tell me what the secret is. Naruto's reply consisted of 2 words. Kage Bunshin. Tsunade stared for a moment before smacking her head against the wall repeatedly while calling herself a baka. During Tsunade's self-inducted punishment, Tsume asked the question she had wanted to ask for the last half an hour. So will you take up my offer? Hi Tsume-san, I will. But only if I am allowed to keep the name of my father and be called Namikaze Inuzuka. I want to honor my parents at least so much. Tsume grinned at his answer and nodded enthusiastically. Of course you can keep your name. It would be an honor for the Namikaze name being carried by one of our clan members. But from now on you must call me Tsume-chan or Oka-san. Whatever suits you better. Now with that being over, I must ask Tsunade a favor since you are now a member of my clan. She cleared her throat to gain Tsunade's attention, which she did. Hokage-sama, Naruto has agreed to become a member of my clan and move in with us at the compound. Because of the special circumstances, with him now having an animal partner, I would like to ask a favor of you. I want to establish a clan team, led by myself. Team 7 will most likely be disbanded anyway because of Sasuke's defection. I, together with my 2 children, could train Naruto best in his new powers. Tsunade looked thoughtful for a while before she smiled and nodded. Very well, but Naruto shall also be trained by several others from time to time. Kakashi wants to make up to him for his failures, as does Jiraiya. Naruto, you should know Jiraiya is your godfather. Because of his spy network he was not in the village before this point. I think it's the first time that Sarutobi-sensei experienced a mad Jiraiya when he found out how you were being treated. Also you asked me to train you and you will need time for learning Kenjutsu. We will work out something, don't worry. Quote. Excellent Hokage-sama. If you excuse me for a moment, I will gather some help to move Naruto's things to the compound. See you later Naruto-kun, and once again, welcome to the clan my boy. With that the Inuzuka left into the now dark Konoha, leaving Tsunade and Naruto behind. Tsunade turned to Naruto and gave him a serious glance before speaking up. Naruto, everything regarding your transformation and Kyuubi is a SS-ranked secret. I have already told this to the senseis of the Konoha 12 per hand signs during the episode in the hospital. So don't worry about one of them leaking this. Furthermore, I should inform you of several things concerning future plans and actions. An organization called Akatsuki, they are after the tailed beasts according to the information Jiraiya has gathered. But because of the invasion and the fact that both I and Jiraiya are near you, they have decided to leave you alone for about 6 years. So we have enough time to train you up to a level where you can meet this challenge. The second thing for you to know is that we will engage in a war with the Sound in about 1 year. I want you to be ready for it because you will lead part of it. Don't be surprised, if you want to be Hokage, we should start getting you familiar with responsibility early on. Also you will attend the next Chunin exams in Suna in 6 months and then, if you are ready, the Jonin exams in 10 months here in Konoha. You think you're up to the challenge, Naruto? Of course, Bachan. I can take everything you throw at me, believe it. Both shared a laugh at his enthusiasm. They then left the Hokage Tower and waited in front of the building for Tsume's return. By now darkness had settled over Konoha and both could see the stars. Kyuubi, who had been silent for a while, actually sleeping through the whole deal with the letters, was still hanging around Naruto's neck. She yawned and stretched a bit before asking Naruto what had happened. After a short explanation, she crawled up on his head. Well Kit, this is going to a very interesting time indeed. I will give the summoning contract to you tomorrow, you can sign it along the one from the Sandame. For now let us enjoy the silence during our wait for Tsume. Naruto agreed wordlessly and a comfortable silence surrounded them, only interrupted by the nightly noises of Konoha. Naruto was gazing into the sky, thinking about this most eventful day which wasn't over yet. Whatever awaited him next, one thing was clear to him. I will show everyone what I can do, believe it. Naruto-sama. Is it true that you joined our clan? That is so awesome. The excited voice of Kiba Inuzuka rang through the cloudless night of Konoha, waking everybody in the near vicinity. The boy came to a halt right in front of the absent-minded Naruto, scaring him shitless. Instead of an answer he received a smack on the head, courtesy of the shocked blonde. Kiba, you baka. I told you to not call me that. And tone it down. You woke up half of the village with your voice. And yes, I am joining your family, another reason for you to stop the sama crap. The brunette adopted a thoughtful look, shared by his partner Akamaru, who had greeted Naruto with a few barks from his perch on top of his master's head. Kiba grinned and came to a conclusion. Since you are part of the family, I will call you Naruto Taiko. That way I can still give you respect without degrading myself. Naruto sighed and muttered, Kami, if they called me an idiot while wearing my mask, what does that make him? The god of idiots. Before Kiba was able to give him a good comeback, he was lying flat on his back, sporting a large lump on his head. Behind him stood two women with scowls adorning their faces. What do you think you are doing waking up the neighborhood runt? There are people sleeping around here, you know. Or at least they were sleeping. Naruto recognized the speaking female as Sum. But the other one was unknown to him, so he took a closer look. She stood at about 155 centimeters and had a slender, already matured figure. Like Kiba and Sum, she had brown hair and the Inuzuka clan markings on her cheeks. But when Naruto noticed a flower tattoo on her upper right arm, he instantly knew who she was. Hana. Long time no see. How are you? Hana, who was berating her younger brother together with her mother, paused in her actions and turned with a smile towards the fox Hanyu. Naruto, I am happy you are joining the family. Maybe you are able to succeed where we have failed and keep the runt in line. God, I sometimes wonder if we really are related. Oh, and I love your new look, it brings out your feral side. Naruto, not being used to receiving compliments on his appearance, felt heat rising to his cheeks. This of course was rewarded with a sly remark from his Obaa-chan. Why Naruto, not even an hour in the family and already getting the attention of the women. Are you turning in a ladies' man now, are you? This sent both Hana and Naruto into a series of sputtering and blushing, much to the amusement of the Hokage and the two remaining Inuzukas. Yeah, Naruto Taiko. That would be so cool if you'd date my sister. Then she would finally be off my back. One moment later, Kiba was sent flying via the Fist Express by the now extremely embarrassed Hana. She had never been attracted to Naruto up until now, but his new look stirred something primal inside her. But she didn't ponder on that, because she had vowed to choose a mate not for his appearance but his personality. But she couldn't deny that Naruto did look good as a Hanyu. Though her annoying little brother didn't have to know that. A small cough from Sum brought everybody to attention. Now when the teasing of Naruto-kun is over, I'd like to get to work before the sun starts rising again. We all need some sleep. Tsunade nodded in agreement. I will leave this in your hands, Sum. He is your responsibility now. As I said before, Naruto-kun, your mother's sword will be delivered by tomorrow morning. If you excuse me, I still have some leftover paperwork to do. And please stay out of trouble for a while, okay Gaki? Urusei Obaa-chan. You'd better stay away from the sake while you're working or I'll tell Shizune-chan. Grr, we will see about that Gaki. Anyway, see you tomorrow. With the departure of the Hokage, Sum assumed control of the situation. When Kiba had recovered from his flight, she asked Naruto to lead them to his apartment to collect his belongings. Surprisingly though, he started to lead them into the opposite direction of where his home was. Noticing the questioning glances, Naruto explained. As you noticed today, Sum-chan, there are a lot of things people don't know about me. One of them is that I don't really live in the apartment Sarutobi Gigi gave me after I was kicked out of the orphanage when I was 3. It would have been too troublesome to live there, since the villagers destroyed the whole interior 2 or 3 times a week. So I proposed Gigi something different. You'll see in a moment what I am talking about. While we're traveling, could you please explain Hana the whole deal about Kyuubi? I don't want to keep secrets from my family. Sume nodded and smiled in approval. As an Inuzuka, loyalty towards the pack was very important to her, so she was pleased to see that Naruto thought the same. A short explanation later, Hana was giving Naruto's scarf a curious look until Kyuubi gave an annoyed snort. Yes, I really am the Kyuubi. And now stop staring at me, I need my beauty sleep. This caused a major sweat drop amongst the group. After traveling in silence for a while, they arrived at their destination. Though none of the Inuzukas understood why they were stopping in a clearing in the middle of the forest. Naruto had a smirk on his face, which caused the fox Hanyu to look even more like a real fox. He made the ram seal and gave a loud shout, Kai! Before the eyes of his stunned audience, the clearing was suddenly filled with a small cottage and to their shock with an orchard. Dozens of trees and plants of all kinds were scattered around. The moon tinted everything in a slight silver glow, giving it an otherworldly appearance. Gigi made the genjutsu strong enough so that only I could dispel it. As you can see, I love gardening a lot, so he also gave me seeds for all of these plants. But Naruto-kun, how in the world did you take care of this place? This is bigger than the plantation of the Yamanaka, and that is saying something. And how are you planning on moving this to the Inuzuka compound? Well, the answer to both of your questions is the same. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Several hundred Narutos appeared in cloud of smoke, stunning Sume and Hana, who had never seen anyone creating such a great amount of clones before. Kiba had already witnessed something like this before, so he wasn't surprised. Okay guys, start plan, evacuation. But you don't have to hurry since nobody is attacking, so be careful. I don't want something happening to my precious plants. With a salute, the clones got to work. Under the thunderstruck eyes of Sume and Hana, they started to carefully dig up the trees and plants and creating small groups to transport them. Although Gigi's genjutsu was strong, I always had to be prepared for someone finding this place in case someone found it, so I created a plan to get everything away from here as fast as possible. Now let's get my other stuff and we can leave. His new family only nodded dumbly and followed him inside the cottage. It wasn't very big and had only one room, but that was better than nothing. It didn't take very long for them to pack everything since Naruto didn't own very much. His possessions consisted of several jumpsuits, which Sume swore to burn the first chance she got, his ninja gear, which Sume also planned to replace since the villagers had only provided him with low-quality gear, and some sentimental items such as photos of the Sandame, Team 7, Uruka and Tsunade. He also had a large chest, but he refused to tell them what it contained. He only explained that there were several personal items in it, which he would like to keep private. They left the house and together with Naruto's wandering forest, and made way to the Inuzuka compound. Their arrival was greeted by the dog companions of Sume, Hana and Kiba with several barks and whines. Sume showed Naruto and his clones a clearing behind the compound where he could plant his orchard. Naruto gave his clones some orders and the shinobi then entered the main building of the compound together with the dogs. It was designed like most of the clan compounds in Konoha, a vast mansion in traditional design with several smaller buildings surrounding it. But there was one big difference. All the buildings had doors with an extra flap door for the dogs. Sume decided that the introduction to the rest of the clan could wait until the next day, so she just showed Naruto to his new room. She explained that the main building was only inhabited by the leading family, which included her, Hana, Kiba and now Naruto. Because of that, everybody had an array of rooms to live in. Naruto's quarters were located between Hana's and the kitchen. The latter was reason enough for Naruto to immediately fall in love with his new home. But he loved it even more when he laid eyes on his rooms. Each room was as big as the cottage Naruto had stayed in. He had a living room, a dressing room, a bedroom, a huge bath, and to his surprise a study. Sum noticed his surprise and explained. These are the rooms originally reserved for the clan head. But after the death of my husband during the Kyuubi attack, I moved to some other rooms because I couldn't bear with the memories this place held for me. But why are you giving me these rooms then? Because without you, I would have died along with my husband and my children would have been orphans. If he were still alive, I am sure he would agree with me. And you'll need a study anyway if you really planning on becoming Hokage. Even as a Chunin or a Jonin you have to do mission reports. I'll leave you to explore your rooms now, but don't stay up too long. You have another long day ahead of you tomorrow. With that they left Naruto alone and went to bed. The blonde decided to take a closer look at his new home before doing the same. The bedroom was pretty basic, containing a double bed. He assumed it was because two persons normally lived here, a nightstand and several shelves to put personal items. His dressing room was nothing special either, with several dressers and mirrors. In the study he found a large desk and several shelves of books. Further inspection revealed that they contained the whole library of the Inuzuka clan and several other scrolls about history, medicine and even some jutsus from other clans. His living room included 2 couches, a flat-screen TV, a sound system, a fireside and to his great surprise a small bar. He was really going to enjoy this. But all of that was forgotten when he inspected the bath. All of his life he had to wash himself in the cold river, since his apartment didn't have running water and the cottage no plumbing at all. And now he had a real shower, a bath and even a whirlpool. Again he noticed the special circumstances of the Inuzuka clan because he furthermore found a small tub, obviously constructed for the use of a dog. He chuckled slightly at the thought of giving Kyuubi a bath. A sunbeam awoke Naruto the next morning, who panicked for a moment at seeing unfamiliar surroundings. But then he remembered the events of the past day and he calmed down. After a quick shower, he loved the hot water. He made his way to the kitchen. Kyuubi once again was resting as a scarf around his neck. Naruto pondered on how much sleep that Kitsune seemed to need but forgot about it the moment the smell of breakfast hit his nose. There, standing in the kitchen, was his new mom preparing breakfast. He almost cried in happiness because of this. Ohio Naruto-kun. How are you this morning? Did you get enough sleep last night? You have a long day before you. Yeah, I'm fine, Sum-chan. I have never slept so good for as long as I can remember. And being able to have a warm shower is a nice change too. He muttered the last part under his breath, but he had underestimated the superior senses of the Inuzuka clan. What? How is it that being able to have a hot shower is something new to you? Well, my apartment didn't have running water and my cottage didn't have plumbing. But you could have used the public baths. They have everything you need and are open all day and night. The blonde only snorted at that. They refused to give service to the demon. So that wasn't an option for me either. Instead I always bathed in the river. But hey, it could have been worse. Before Sum could retort, they were interrupted by a loud shout of, Ohio! From the entering Kiba. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to this, clan team, thingy. We're totally going to kick some serious ouch. Why did you hit me, Okawa-san? Mind your language, runt. What's with all the squabbling so early in the morning? Can't you be quit at least once? We have a new family member, you know. Said one Hana when she arrived together with the companions of the 3 Inuzuka. Naruto noticed that unlike Sum and Kiba, who were wearing their usual ninja attire, she was dressed in civilian clothing. She was wearing a dark red skirt and a white t-shirt with flowers imprinted on it. Also, her hair wasn't tied into a ponytail but instead hung loosely around her neck. So you are Naruto, It's nice to finally meet you face to face. How's the furball doing? Kuromaru Sume's wolf was the only Inuzuka companion who could speak the human language. He was known throughout Konoha for this, so Naruto wasn't really surprised when the wolf addressed him. I was doing just fine until the commotion woke me from my nap, just to let you know. Now if everybody could tone it down a bit, I need my beauty sleep. Before Kyuubi or Kuromaru started a fight, Sume served breakfast and then took Kuromaru aside to explain the situation. She had been too tired the night before to do it then. Hana, why are you in civilian clothing? Don't we have meeting with Ba-chan later? And wasn't there something about me meeting the rest of the clan? That's true Naruto, but before that you and me are going shopping. You seriously need a new wardrobe. How can you stand wearing this jumpsuit? And the meeting with the clan is scheduled sometime this evening. It's the only thing that shops would sell me. Grr, if they try that in my presence they'll regret it. I'm not letting them treat my new brother like a demon. Blushing Naruto only gave a small smile as response. Speaking of getting things done before the meeting. You have to sign the summoning contracts for Apes and Fox's kit. It's not a big deal summoning both the boss summons, especially with your large chakra capacity, especially after your transformation into a Hanyu. The boss for the Foxes should be my brother Kurama, so that won't be much of a deal. 20 minutes later, Naruto and his new family were standing in the orchard that Naruto's clones had transported the night before. After signing both contracts he made the proper hand signs and cried. Kuchio's no jutsu, kitsune. After a puff of smoke a giant eight-tailed silver kitsune stood in the clearing. After taking note of Naruto's 9 golden tails and his scarf, it bowed. How may I be of service Naruto-sama? Don't I have to go through some kind of test for being able to summon you? As you were the jinchūriki of Kyuubi-sama there is no need for such a test. She would have only given you our contract if you were worthy of it. Okay, thanks I guess. That would be all then. Very well, until we meet again. With that Kurama puffed away. One down, another to go. Kuchio's no jutsu, Suru. This time the smoke gave view to a much smaller figure, but an imposing one nonetheless. Everybody in Konoha knew Enma, personal summon of the deceased Sandaime Hokage. Ah, young Naruto. It is nice to meet you. I trust you have received the will of Sarutobi. I will not test you, since the test for us monkeys is one of loyalty, kindness and courage. Traits that you have already shown more than enough. I am looking forward to working with you in the future. Is there anything else you need from me? One shake of the head later Enma disappeared where he came from. Sugoi Naruto Taiko. Now you can summon 3 bosses if you need to. Hehe, yeah but it's not that a big deal. You see Kiba, summons do not help in any situation. For example using Gamabunta in my fight against Sasuke would have been stupid. There was neither enough room, nor would it really help me. Gamabunta is only useful against an army or somebody just as large as him like the Biju. When did you get so intelligent Naruto? That's because he's half kitsune now. Of course he should be more intelligent. Kitsune are the most intelligent creatures in existence after all, that should weigh up more than enough for his stupidity. Most of which was an act anyway. Shut it, Baka Kitsune. If you are so intelligent why did you get tricked by Orochimaru in the first place? Growling Kyuubi was about to scratch Naruto's eyeballs out, but before she was able to do so, Hana had snatched both Naruto and her by the ears and was pulling them towards Konoha. Let's put your energy to a better use and get started on the shopping. We have a lot of ground to cover. Kuromaru was snickering watching things play out. Already under a leash Poor boy, woman can be so pushy. Suddenly he felt a foreboding presence behind him and he heard the sickeningly sweet voice of Sume ask, "What were you saying?" "Nothing. That's what I thought. Come on, we have some cleaning up to do. Meanwhile Hana, Naruto and a now again sleeping Kyuubi were walking through the shopping district of Konoha. Though Naruto certainly looked as if he rather not be there. Oh come on Naruto-kun, it can't be that bad to have to get a new outfit. The Kitsune Hanyu sighed. I'm not upset because of the idea of getting a new outfit. I know orange is not the color for a ninja. But the looks of the civilians are worse than normal, and I also have some bad memories in this district. Sadly he was right. Instead of the indifferent looks he usually got, now the populace of Konoha was eyeing him with undisguised hatred and in some cases fear. Hana hadn't really noticed since she never paid attention to the civilians. That is until now. She started to growl at every single person that was giving Naruto a wrong look. This caused many people to subconsciously take a step back and shiver. Naruto sent her a grateful smile. It's okay Naruto-kun, that's what family is for. Finally they arrived at their destination. The Konoha Ninja Supply was famous. It had been around since the founding of Konoha and was frequented by all of the Hokages and all the major clans. It had everything from weapons to armor and other things a ninja could need. But before they could start browsing the items for Naruto they ran into opposition, namely the shopkeeper. What are you doing in here, demon scum? Didn't I tell you that I don't serve the likes of you? This proved the wrong thing to say, because 1 second later he found himself lying on his back, a furious Hana on top of him, holding a kunai to his throat. If you ever address my Otudo that way again, I will kill you on the spot, as is my right by the law passed by the Sandaime Hokage. Am I clear? And if you refuse to give service to him, I will notify the Godime, and since Tsunade loves Naruto like a brother, I don't think she will be very pleased, don't you agree? Fearing for his life the man nodded frantically and swore to never think about refusing service to Naruto. Pass the message on to every shop in Konoha. Whoever tries to cheat Naruto in any way or refuse to sell him supplies will face the wrath of the entire Inuzuka clan and the slug Sanin Tsunade. Have I made myself clear? Another nod. Then Hana did a 180 and smiled at her adopted brother. Let's shop. The blonde only nodded dumbly, still astonished at the turns of the events. He had never been protected so fiercely in his life, and from a good-looking female nonetheless. Where did that come from? She's nice and all, but, never mind. I'll think about it later. 1 hour a transformed Naruto left the shop. Instead of his orange jumpsuit he was wearing black shinobi sandals and pants. Additionally he was wearing a black t-shirt with a brown vest on top. The vest had the usual Chunin design but also sported a golden 9-tailed kitsune on the back. His headband was tied around his neck, allowing his grown hair to fall freely. In the back it was tied in a loose ponytail. Furthermore he wore a cloak. But unlike the Yondaime whose had been white, his was black in color and once again sported several 9-tailed golden foxes and additionally several dogs of the same color, a tribute to his new clan. Naruto-kun, you look really good in that outfit. Look at all the stares you are getting. She was right. Several females eyed Naruto with a look of lust. Hearts could be seen in their eyes and the boy started to fear them more than the looks of hate. But that didn't stop him blushing from Hana's comment. Thanks Hana-chan. Let's get back to the compound, I can't wait to see my mother's sword. I bet it totally kicks. The female Inuzuka rolled her eyes at his outburst but was happy that he was still his cheery self, it hadn't been a total mask. A Naruto without even a bit of cheerful attitude just didn't seem right. But in the back of her mind, Hana felt that they had forgotten something. But she could not put her finger on it. Oh well, it most likely wasn't important anyway. Back in the shop,